following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys? Yeah!
This is the Players Lounge, broadcasting live from Dallas Cowboys World Headquarters at the Star. Now your hosts, Barry Church, Danny McCray, and Newy Scruggs.
Hey, it's Friday here. Players Lounge coming to you from our SWBC Mortgage virtual home studios. I'm Newy Scruggs, joined by former Dallas Cowboys safeties Danny McCray and Barry Church. And Church apparently is feeling real good today, McCray. So I guess we got to get on that feel good he's on, right? I'm thinking we're going to come out here with some sad news, but he come up here singing all during the break. He's ready to go. Mr. Fun Times up in here.
No, he's carefree because he's accepted, where we're at right now. So he's fine with it. Whatever happens. That's where he's at. He just roll it on through.
Okay,
hey man, like I said earlier in the week, man, I'm very optimistic of what we got going on today, and my vibes, my music was just showing how optimistic I am about this game. That's all that was happening.
Who are you listening to?
I was corrected. For the longest, I thought it was Oates and Hall, but it's Hall and Oates. And my boy Newy over there, I made his day. I made his day, man. He thought that was the funniest thing on earth, as well as our producer Chris Bean. He thought that was hilarious. But hey, man, I'm just trying to listen to good music. That's all I'm trying to do, man.
So literally, because I'm older than you guys, I grew up on Hall and Oates. All right, the two gentlemen from Philadelphia. It's Daryl Hall and John Oates. I have never heard it referred to as Oates and Hall. Okay, never. But okay. So which song were you vibing to of Hall and Oates?
So I was jamming to a little bit of Sarah Smile earlier, and had a little Private
Sarah
Eyes
Smile.
as well. Private Eyes was jamming to that a little bit as well.
Okay.
And for the longest, man, I just found out they were two white guys, man. I thought for the longest they were two brothers, Oates and Hall, as I call them. So I thought they were brothers out there, but I mean, it was just two white dudes who had the soul with them, man. It was awesome. It was awesome.
So, I mean, they were influenced by, they talk about how, they were influenced by soul music and the Motown records. That got them going. That's how they got themselves going. I'll tell you what, since you're on that Hall & Oates kick, I want you to go to YouTube and look up Daryl's House. And
Daryl Hall's house. All right.
Yeah, so a bunch of artists that you like go in and they sing old school Hall & Oates songs, and then they sing some of their own stuff. So it's just a big jam session at Daryl Hall's house out in Connecticut, New York, out in New York. So like CeeLo Green goes in there and he plays "I Can't Go for That" with Daryl Hall and the band, and then they go play some of CeeLo's music. So it's really cool to see them just vibing like that. But it is Hall & Oates, my man. Hall & Oates, not Oates and Hall.
I'm glad you corrected me, because I would have been saying that too. I would have been going out there talking about Oates and Hall.
Yeah, it's not the Five Jacksons. It's the Jackson Five. These groups are older than you. These groups are playing music before you came out. So I'm letting you know it's the Jackson Five, not the Five Jacksons. In case
I deserve it.
Listen to that up, man. But it's good.
I deserve these shots.
I like the fact that you like good music. So I mean, for a while, man, whenever them dudes was putting out music, it was a straight up hit. So they were doggone good in the 80s. Now, if you want to see, so you thought the Hall & Oates were black. If you want to see how I'm telling you, man, all of us were fooled, is when we looked up and saw Bobby Caldwell. Bobby Caldwell sings the song. He sings the song "What You Won't Do for Love." And Tupac used it a couple of years ago, about 20 years ago. It was a Tupac song.
He sampled that.
He sampled it. Yeah, he sampled it. So what I want you two to do when we take our break here is just check your phone, Google Bobby Caldwell, or in fact,
he ain't black. That dude ain't black.
Just look it up, man. It's gonna shock you. It's gonna shock you when you see Bobby Caldwell. So that's what I'm gonna say. Just
we
check
talking about.
Out,
we talking the same dude that's talking about what you won't do for love. We talking about that guy. Oh,
that guy,
man, that's a shocker. All right, that's a shocker.
The ultimate shocker. Well, wait till you see him. Go look at the video. When you see that's probably going well. So it'll trip you out here. But the Players Lounge, brought to you by Hotels.com, is a football show. We concentrate on the Cowboys. And there was some bad news that came out here today. That's what we talk about music, trying to make ourselves feel a little bit good. Tyrant Smith is out for the year. The left tackle, Tyrant Smith, is out for the year. On top of the news we got last week that right tackle, Lel Collins, is done for the year. So the bookends, guys, one, a all-decade performer in Smith, and the other in Collins, who I thought had a Pro Bowl season last year, they're gone. Add in the fact that last year's starting center, perennial Pro Bowler Travis Frederick, retired. This is a whole different offensive line that'll be rolling out here against the New York Football Giants. The Giants are 0-4. The Cowboys are 1-3. And fellas, I'm sweating right now. I'm sweating thinking about this is the combination that Dak Prescott has to deal with the rest of the way, because we've seen three guys who could rush the passer this year. Takk McKinley in that Atlanta game, and Takk McKinley was giving the Cowboys the business before he hurt his groin and left the game. Then you go ahead. You saw what Myles Garrett did to him. We saw what Aaron Donald did in Week 1. As they get ready to face the Steelers and Philadelphia and Baltimore, I'm afraid for Dak Prescott with this unit out here. So, fellas, you guys give me your impressions and just reaction to Tyrant Smith being gone for the rest of the season. McCray.
Listen, from what we talked about yesterday is really not surprising. He's been dealing with a few injuries, and then so the back is always a really, really serious thing, and it's hard to come back from, especially for an entire season. And then you have his neck injury, and football, like I said, is a contact sport, and the neck is a big part of the game. And when you risk putting your career on the line just so you can come back early and throughout this season, just so you can try, especially when you're running 3, right? You see what's going on, but you see that, and you don't want to risk your entire career just trying to come back too early. And I think he actually did that last week. So like I said yesterday, I'm glad that he made that decision today. So now the Cowboys know they need to move forward with another option, and they're not waiting on him to come back and hoping that he'll come back for the rest of the season. They know now that who they don't have. They don't have the left tackle or the right tackle. So now you have a chance to adapt and make a plan for who you're going to have out there for the remainder of the season.
Yeah, for me, I think it was an extremely smart move for Tyrant Smith to go ahead and get that second opinion and go ahead and get the surgery and shut it down. Because, like we said, man, the neck is nothing to ever play around with, and there's life after football. So I think that was an extremely smart move for him to do that. But to these injuries, I mean, this is where I think, Kellen Moore and McCarthy and Philbin and that whole brain trust, they're going to have to come up with something. We know we had Will on the show a couple weeks ago, and, he told us, they like to promote from within, and they don't like to do this whole fantasy football mismatching and putting people here and there, that they weren't doing that in camp. We know they don't like to do that, but this is it. This is panic mode right now. I mean, we're 1-3. We still have a shot. I mean, if we could play a little bit better, we still have a shot at this division. So for me, this is the time where they got to mix and match, put your best players and your best unit on the field. If that means moving Zach Martin to right tackle or left tackle, or moving whoever they got to put out there, but they have to put their best unit on the field in order to protect Dak Prescott, one, and to get the most out of this offense. I mean, it's a patchwork right now. They're struggling. Like you said earlier, Newy, those edges were getting destroyed by Takk McKinley. They were getting destroyed by Myles Garrett. And in the interior, Aaron Donald was destroying us. So for us, we're not going to get a lack of pass rushers, because Pittsburgh, they can still come after the quarterback. Baltimore, those boys can still come after the quarterback. And don't sleep on Washington. I mean, they got Chase Young, they got Ryan.
They're good. Boys, so, they are good.
Yeah, we cannot sleep on Washington's D-line. So for me, this is where that fantasy football is going to have to come into play. Get your best unit on the field in order to protect Dak Prescott and get the most out of your offense.
Listen, hey, Church and Newy, tell me this while we're on it, because I love Tyrant. But do we see Tyrant in a Dallas Cowboys uniform again next season?
To me, I don't know, man. That's going to be a tough. We were talking about it earlier. That's going to be a tough decision. I mean, just because all he's done here in this tenure and battling through injuries and putting it all on the line for the Dallas Cowboys. I mean, it's tough, but at the end of the day, it is a business, and you can't go out there and have your left tackle only playing part of the year, the past couple of years. So for me, I think that's something that they got to look into, and they might want to try to go ahead and get his replacement in the draft.
I look at this situation from two aspects. When you ask that question, Danny, I look first at Tyrant Smith. Does he want to keep playing? Tyrant has a Hall of Fame resume right now. An all-decade player, and many years ago, when Ricky Watters was playing against the Eagles, he ran across the middle and the quarterback threw a ball that was going to get him lit up. And he decided he wasn't going to go reach for it. And so people asked him after the game, they're like, well, why did you reach for the pass? He said, for who? For what? He was like, why am I going to get killed? For who? For what? And when I sit around here and I think about the question that's going to hit Tyrant Smith after this neck surgery, it's for who? For what? You need to, you guys have played this game. And I tell everybody, all my friends who don't play football, I said, this game leaves everybody hurt. There's a 100% casualty rate when you leave this game. I don't know anybody who's played at this level for 3-4 years that doesn't have something wrong with them. Okay, this takes stuff out of your body. So he's got a back, he's got a neck. How much longer do you want to keep doing this to the point where you can't bend over? You guys have seen Tyrant, and you guys played with him. You know him personally. Here's a guy that likes being outdoors. He's an active guy. How much longer do you want to do this and take these kind of hits where you literally are debilitating yourself here? He's got nothing else to prove. Hall of Fame resume, fantastic tackle. So that's why I say you got to ask him, what does he want to do? Because we saw with Travis Frederick. Travis said, I can't do this the way I want to do this. So he walked away. So I look at it from his standpoint. From the Cowboys standpoint, I don't know if they can even cut Tyrant Smith the way they've been pushing out these contracts. They pushed out a bunch of contracts this year. So you already got, you paid part of Travis's money this year for $5 million. You got another $5 million you got to deal with next year. So you got to start to ask yourselves, as this cap goes down, I don't know if the Cowboys are in a position to just sit up here and tell him, hey man, go ahead, call it a career. We're going to move on without you. And then my last part on this, Danny, you talk about the draft. Okay, so you need a tackle because Tyrant's been hurt. They're missing 3 games out of the last, it's going to be 5 years now, 3 games a year. You got Lel Collins. You know how Collins is going to react. So you got a tackle issue. You got D-tackle issues. You probably got to go get another defensive end because Griffin's on a 1-year deal. Alden Smith's on a 1-year deal. You got a corner issue because you're going to have Awuzie and Lewis, who are free agents. You got safety issue that they still have yet to address. So when you start talking about Cowboy draft picks, Lord knows where they go. They've got a lot of needs that are immediate. And then if Leighton Vander Esch can't really come back here and show you he's the real deal, and Lord knows you shouldn't trust him. You shouldn't trust him right now. You may have to go get a linebacker. So I don't know where they go right now. When you talk about a first-round pick, I don't know where they go because they have so many holes that they need to fill. I'm done.
Yeah, and then listen. It sounds like we're in some deep trouble come 2021 season. So everybody out there, if you're listening and you think it's bad now, man, when you start figuring out what we're gonna do in the draft and who's gonna be on this team next year, I'm sure you'll be scratching your head then too. But just to address the Tyrant Smith thing, I know we talked yesterday about trainers and players trusting the training staff, and one thing I didn't think about, and it just crossed my mind when you said, we got to figure out what he wants to do. We're not even sure if it was his idea to go get the second opinion because he really wanted to play that bad. We don't know which side it was on. Maybe our training staff told him, hey man, you need to shut it down for the season. And he said, look, I really want to play. This is what I do. This is what I love. I'm gonna go get a second opinion. And if they say yes, are you guys okay with me playing? So we don't know where he is. I think that, Church, you've been around guys who football is life and they'll risk almost anything to play. So, you just got to figure out where his mindset is. And he might be one of those guys who all he knows is football and he's going to come back and give it a shot. So, we don't know. So it'll be something interesting for us to wait and see.
Yeah, that is true. And man, Newy, I was feeling so optimistic. I was out here singing my Hall of Notes, man. I was vibing out. And then, man, you just listed that laundry list of problems that we got going on here. I'm over here thinking, man, we'll be all right, get the draft at left tackle. But, man, you're right, man. What are we going to do in the secondary? We got so many guys on the D-line that haven't played up to par or are on 1-year deals. What are we going to do about Vander Esch, who's been injured back-to-back? I mean, Man, I was optimistic, but man, you definitely put a rain cloud on my situation over here, man. Jeez.
You got to find a new song.
Something.
I mean, but when you start looking at just the way the National Football League works, I mean, Philadelphia is a team that has been ravaged by wide receiver issues and on their offensive line. So when you start digging into it, there's a lot of teams that have issues. We concentrate on the Cowboys because this is the team that we deal with year in, year out. I mean, the New York Jets have no talent anywhere. The Giants have talent issues at a whole lot of spots. So while the Cowboys have their own issues, they're not as bad as other teams, but we know from watching this team all the time, they've got some serious issues, and if anything, we've kind of glossed over them. I was one of those who did talk about an offensive tackle around the draft to say, hey, look, it's something you've got to think about because you've had the injury with Tyrant Smith. Now, for me, this becomes a real interesting question, and maybe they don't do it this year, but we've talked consistently amongst ourselves and other people have about Connor Williams being a guard, and maybe that Connor Williams could be a better tackle. He's going to be coming up on his last year in 2021. Maybe, and I wonder, is now the time to try and maybe put Connor at a tackle spot and then put Connor McGovern, a guy that they used a third-round pick on 2 years ago, and play him? I mean, to start to find out what some of these combinations are going to be, not just now, but also just moving forward to see exactly what it is you have. If they want to be committed to leaving Zach Martin at a guard and not moving him to tackle, fine. But I think one of these guys has to move, be it Martin or Connor Williams, who I believe one of these guys will be better than Steele and Knight. I just believe that. And yes, Will's talked about, hey, it's not fantasy football, but at this point in time, you're desperate. This is a desperate situation because you have two guys that you counted on being there. And what have we seen? These pass rushers are beating Steele and Knight. So you may have to go ahead and at least move one player out there who could possibly be better. And I hope that Kellen Moore and Mike McCarthy are out here now thinking of how they need to go to a quicker passing game, because trying to do some of these drops that they've done in the past, if Dak is not getting rid of the football very quick, he's going to find himself sacked or even fumbling with strip sacks like we saw with Myles Garrett, where I felt like on the quarterback's end, he's got to know you got Steele there one-on-one with Garrett. You got to get rid of the ball quicker. So there's some issues, man. This coaching staff has got their work cut out for them.
Got their work cut out for them. Yeah, you're right. They got to start coaching first. What do you mean? They ain't even start yet. They still at the start line. What are you talking about? They got their work cut out for them. Of course, we 1-3. We 1-3. We got the worst coaching errors I've ever seen in my life.
I'm trying to be nice, man. I'm trying to be nice. All right, let's take our first break here. We still have our predictions to go for this Giants game, and I feel like we haven't talked about the Giants all week long, but there's so many issues with the Cowboys. We've concentrated on them. Let's do more of that here on the Players Lounge, brought to you by Hotels.com. That's Barry Church. That's Danny McCray. I'm Newy Scruggs, and you're checking us out on DallasCowboys.com radio.
Hey there, Cowboys fans. With Tide Cleaners at-home pickup and delivery, cleaning your clothes has never been more convenient. Simply sign up at your local store, set out your dirty clothes, and one of our Tide Cleaners professionals will come directly to your home for a totally contactless experience. Your clean garments will be returned promptly the next scheduled delivery day, so skip the errand and enjoy life, not laundry. Visit TideCleaners.com or your local store to sign up for Tide Cleaners at-home pickup and delivery today.
I'm Jay Novacek, former tight end for the Dallas Cowboys. Back in the day, I was the guy who always got the tough yards, and that's why I run with John Deere today. In fact, I have a John Deere 3025E tractor that can handle any yard work I need to do, even the tough yards way out back. So if you have 1 acre or 1,000, John Deere has the equipment that's just right for you. Visit a John Deere dealer today and run with us. We are the official tractor provider of your Dallas Cowboys.
We're back with a tasty treat that's sweeping airwaves and taste buds. It's new Dr. Pepper and Cream Soda. Let's take a listen.
Dr. Pepper and Cream Soda's here. A new combo that's music to my ears, okay. Let's play. Cream Soda and Dr. Pepper time.
Ah, music to my ears and mouth. New Dr. Pepper and Cream Soda.
A delicious duet.
Essilor is a proud sponsor of the Dallas Cowboys, helping fans see more and do more with our best vision solutions. Our lens technologies reveal a world more beautiful than you can imagine. For a limited time, get the Essilor Next Gen offer. When you buy the latest generation of Transitions lenses with select Essilor lenses, you can choose a second pair of clear lenses for free with qualifying frame purchases. Restrictions apply. Find a participating eye care professional by visiting EssilorUSA.com. Essilor. See more, do more.
Back to the Players Lounge.
The Cowboys are back at AT&T Stadium this Sunday to take on the rival New York Giants. A limited number of tickets are available. Get yours now at DallasCowboys.com/tickets. This is the Players Lounge, brought to you by Hotels.com. I'm Newy Scruggs, longtime Cowboys reporter, joined by Barry Church, Danny McCray, two former Dallas Cowboys safeties. All right, guys, are we ready to make a prediction? Are we ready to get into this whole thing here? Because, we got to do it. I figure we might as well not wait till the end. Might as well just go ahead, get it on over with here. Let's get it on over with here. Yeah. Church, you got something?
Nostradamus?
Oh.
Man, look, Nostradamus. I've been off my game lately. I mean, last night's game and the week before, I've been off my game just a little bit. But I'm optimistic. Like I said, I got those good feeling vibes, so I feel like I'm getting right back to where I left off at. So let me go ahead and hit y'all with the prediction and what's gonna happen. I say this game being early, it's gonna be back and forth, but after the second quarter, I feel like Dallas is gonna take control of this game. I feel like Zeke's gonna go off. So I'm gonna go ahead and give it a 35-21 Cowboys victory.
Wow. That's a lot of
Okay,
points.
all right. Okay. Listen, the first quarter of the season is over with, all right? So we're officially into the second quarter. And I said I was going to stop picking these games based on my emotion, all right?
Okay.
Well, this is not the week where I think we're going to lose to the Giants. So I'm going to say that we beat the Giants 31-24. And it's going to be a very ugly start to the game as usual. We're going to make a lot of mistakes, but the Giants are going to make more. In this game, we will somehow get a turnover for a touchdown. That is how we will win this game.
Are you saying it's going to be a INT in the secondary?
No. It could be a block kick. It could be anything. Believe me, I'm not counting on anything coming from our secondary. I've seen us drop picks and I've seen us look in the backfield at the quarterback while the ball is going over our heads. So no, I just believe we will get some big play where we'll score and it will not be offensive.
Daniel Jones is known for giving up the football, so you do have that. I will side with you guys on the Cowboys winning. So I did my prediction yesterday for NBC5, so it's already on video. So I've got the Cowboys winning, but I have it a close game. I went with Dallas winning 27-24. The Cowboys have issues here. The Giants have issues, and until I see the Cowboys go out here and be able to win a game going away convincingly, I've got to imagine it's going to be a close football game. And McCray, if they come out here as they normally have, starting off slow, and this game is a game they got to punch and fight back on, then I could see it issues. I mean, the Giants, to me, showed a lot of fight last week when they went out to Los Angeles and gave the Rams all they wanted. Rams ended up winning it, but you saw the Giants. They played well. It was a game you thought the Giants were going to get blown out of the water, and it just didn't happen. So I'm not ready to sit up here and say, hey, the Cowboys are going to go ahead and get it all done and just run away with this thing. Jason Garrett still does know a little bit about this football team. And Dan, you talked about the coaching. You talked about the coaching on McCarthy's part. I got to see these guys get better. That's right. You know what?
We got a Jason Garrett compliment.
If you go out and check out my video that I put on Channel 5, I said one of my favorites is coming to town. Jason Garrett, offensive coordinator with the New York Football Giants.
Listen, did you also say that the Giants play harder than us, specifically on defense?
I said last week.
They went out there and they played hard, right? Last week? Okay, all right.
What I saw last week, yes. Yeah, no, they gave. You talking about effort? Let's go ahead and say it. Let's not tap dance around it. Did they go give effort last week? Yeah, they did.
Oh no,
was this a game? I thought the game was going to blow them out of the water. But no, you're right. So. Okay, let's go ahead and segue. Let's go ahead and segue.
We have to get to the video. It's not over yet, Newy. It's not over. It's so bad that we got to finish off the week with this taste in the mouth, and we got to spit this taste out this week. We got to come out here and we got to hustle. But I just want, us on the Players Lounge, we want to show everybody that it is possible for the backside corner to make plays. It is possible for you to give full effort for the entire game. It is possible. It is not impossible.
As Barack Obama once said to Mitt Romney, proceed, Danny, proceed. Go ahead.
Man, is that Saquon right there? Is that Saquon rolling? Man, look at 20. He's still on the team. 24 is still on the team. He was the backside corner. Went down there and chased out one of the fastest guys in the NFL. And you mean to tell me that it's impossible? What is Xavier Woods out there, Newy?
Yeah, that's Xavier out there.
Oh, so he watched that. He saw it. He saw the impossible. Ain't that something? Goodness gracious. Well, I tell you, look at that hustle. That's a Marinelli defense. Look at all the guys hustling. Everybody's still sprinting. They're 20 yards behind Saquon. Everybody's sprinting. That is not something that you see us doing right now. And that's why I say the first quarter of the season is over with, and we're going to change that. Oh, check this out again. Oh, it breaks. Look at that. Byron Jones, we let him go. He could have still been on our squad. Boom. Chase down tackle. That's that's effort. That's hustle. That is something that you can do. It takes no talent for you to be able to run and try to give full effort until the whistle blows. That is what you're taught.
Hey, look at 2-5 right there. Hey, 2-5 running a little bit right there.
Running a little. That's one of the plays where he went full speed. He gave it a shot. But he forgot about that when Marinelli left. They don't do that. So I just want everybody to see that it's possible. And hopefully the effort that you just saw in these last two plays, that's something that we see for the rest of the season. Because like we said, you can eliminate some of these big plays by just having effort from your entire team.
Man, just looking at that video, man, it just reminded me how much I miss White Lightning, a.k.a. Jeff Heath back there, man. I mean, look, this is a dude who got ridiculed and got destroyed by the fan base each and every week. Oh, Jeff doesn't tackle good. Jeff doesn't create takeaways. Yeah. Man, all he did was hustle, and he was always in the right position. He might not always make the greatest plays, but he was never someone you just looked at and was like, man, his effort's just not there. He's just not the answer. I mean, we wanted so bad to get, we got to get one of these high-priced names. We got to get one of these big-time safeties. And we let, arguably one of the backbones of the defense go. And I'm telling you, from what I saw, man, that just made me miss Jeff Heath that much more, man. What a loss.
Oh, you want to see it again? It's 24.
Hey, DJ, bring that track up there one more time.
Look at 38 right there, 24, man. Same guy on the team right now, hustling like crazy. Jordan Lewis out there still hustling. I'm telling you, it's the coaches because they accept it. These guys do not fear what's going on. They do not fear any consequences or repercussions for not sprinting to the ball. When Marinelli was here, you got put on blast if you didn't hustle to the ball. You got put on blast more so than if you didn't make the play. If you missed the assignment, then you got blasted. But if you didn't hustle, that was like the biggest thing that you could do to piss Marinelli off.
Yeah.
So
it was like blasphemy.
How do you fix this thing? If you're saying they're getting away with it, how is it fixed?
It's got to be, for me, it's got to be with the players. I mean, look, the players have got to go out there and they got to play with some type of pride for the name on the back of their jersey. I mean, Mike McCarthy, he can go out there and do all the talking, do all the motivating, say, hey, we got to do this, we got to do that. But to me, to change the culture, to change the philosophy of this team, it's going to have to come down to the players. They're going to have to go out there and show some type of respect for themselves on the field and just not wanting to put this bad tape out there. I mean, that was one of the worst things you can do. If you go out there and put bad tape, because not only are you putting that tape on there for your team to see that, but just if you're released or cut, I mean, there's 31 other teams out there that are going to be looking at this tape, and they're not going to want to sign somebody that just, gives lackluster performance, even if they're talented as heck. So for me, I think it comes down to the players. They're going to have to change this culture and get back to the hustling ways, because right now what they're doing right now just ain't cutting it.
Yeah, and I think it's the players too. I think it's really important to understand when we used to talk about Garrett Vision, the big thing about Garrett Vision and him making us watch it in front of our teammates is because he was trying to make us hold each other accountable. So you should see your teammate, not hustling and loafing, and you should say something to him. So when that happens in the game, they should feel obligated to sprint and hustle every snap because they owe it to the person next to them. And I don't know if they have McCarthy vision. I don't know if they're getting put on blast out there in front of each other, because if they are and they still letting this slide, we have a bigger issue than we could ever imagine.
I doubt it, man. I doubt they're doing that Garrett vision, because, it was embarrassing. D-Mac, you sat beside me in the team meetings. Like, there was a play I would count. I would know the specific play that was coming up, and you would just duck your head or kind of like cower down, like, man, I hope they just go through this. And it would only be about 30 seconds of watching that tape, but it would feel like it was 20 minutes of them just ridiculing you. Well, what are you this right here? This is Garrett's favorite right here, fellas. This just is not acceptable. This right here, this can't cut it. And he would just have that laser pointer just circling your body on the tape. Like, this is just not acceptable. It can't happen, and it's embarrassing. And I don't know if they do that still, man, but that was embarrassing.
We do. Come on, guys, what are we doing?
What are we doing? This is just not it. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? This is just not it. Like, it was embarrassing.
It's funny you said that, because they had Rob Ninkovich on ESPN the other day, and Ninkovich played for New England, and they said, hey, what would Bill Belichick say? And he did this Bill Belichick thing. He looked at me, he's like, what are we doing? Jesus Christ. That's just how he pointed that finger at him, man. But it's funny you say that, because coaches have their own way. And I remember they would talk about how a guy like Tony Dungy would just look at you. Just give you that look. And you just knew that look of just. And that's, those are the ways that they've got to get to. I don't know what Mike McCarthy does. He's secretive about everything. So he doesn't want to tell us what he's doing with the players or how he addresses the players. It's a big old secret. So maybe behind it, I don't know, maybe they tap somebody on the shoulder. Hey, can you get a little bit of effort next time? That okay with you? Can we work out a little something here, thing, Can we give a little bit here? I don't know. I don't know how it works, man. I don't know how it works. But obviously something needs to change there. Let's take another break here. All right, guys, during this break, take out your phones, okay? I want you to go Google Bobby Caldwell, okay? Google Bobby Caldwell, and go. And I want your reactions after the break on this, all right? This is the Players Lounge, brought to you by Hotels.com on DallasCowboys.com radio.
Since 1865, Stetson hats are American-made with pride right here in Texas. And Stetson is proud to be on the field with America's team. Want to show your Texas and team pride too? You can. By purchasing your own Stetson, you can look just like how the flag guys do on field at every home game. Stetson hats, the official crown of all self-respecting Cowboys and your favorite football team.
Get yours today at shop.dallascowboys.com or at stetson.com.
Your new apartment's big. Such a great deal.
It's okay.
Just okay? What's not to...
It's right above the subway!
Well, I bet you don't even notice it after the...
That's my neighbor, Angus.
A deal that's just okay is not okay. Get a great deal with America's Best Network. Come into an AT&T store to find out how to get one of our popular smartphones for $0 down, based on GWS 1 score September 2019.
To Dallas's frontline responders, thank you. To show its gratitude, Tide is offering free laundry services in Dallas to the families of frontline responders. Simply bring your laundry and your identification to Tide Cleaners, and they will wash it within 2 days. One thing less for you to worry about. While you take care of us all, Tide will take care of the laundry for the families of frontline responders. To learn more and find a location near you, visit hope.tidecleaners.com.
Essilor is a proud sponsor of the Dallas Cowboys, helping fans see more and do more with our best vision solutions. Our lens technologies reveal a world more beautiful than you can imagine. For a limited time, get the Essilor Next Gen offer. When you buy the latest generation of Transitions lenses with select Essilor lenses, you can choose a second pair of clear lenses for free with qualifying frame purchases. Restrictions apply. Find a participating eye care professional by visiting EssilorUSA.com. Essilor. See more, do more.
to the Players Lounge.
All right, coming to the Cowboys game this weekend, make sure you know before you go. Wear a mask, keep distance, and be prepared for cashless transactions. Please be aware of all safe stadium policies prior to arriving at AT&T Stadium. Visit DallasCowboys.com/safe stadium for details. We've already made our predictions for this game. Church went 35-21 Cowboys over the Giants. D-Mac going 31-24. Cowboys winning. I am going with a closer football game, a 27-24 game that the Cowboys are going to win. So we're all saying the Cowboys will win just a little bit differently here. Last night, by the way, I believe that you guys were absolutely wrong.
Here we go.
Church said that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, he said Uncle Tom was going to win that one 27-23. And D-Mac said that Nick Foles and then he didn't believe in the Bears offense and that Tampa Bay would win 31-10. And I said a 24-21 Chicago win. The Bears eke out the win 20-19 with Tom Brady at the end, not even knowing how it was. He thought it was fourth down when the game was over. Like, what are you talking about, dude? And what's interesting, because did you watch during the game where Tom out here yelling at people? Tom out here on the sideline trying to yell at folks, and then this fool don't even know how many downs there are at the end of the game. I was like, this operation. One reason why I didn't pick Tampa Bay to win the game was because they took on the Chargers last week, and the Chargers ended up blowing a game they should have won. So I felt like Tampa still had issues, and going on the road in Chicago, I thought the Bears would perform well enough to win, and the Bears have a good defense. And so the Bears' defense made it tougher, and so I just figured I'd go with the home cooking, and that's why I picked the Bears to win.
Listen, I know everybody was getting on Tom Brady for yelling at his old lineman and then messing up at the end. He couldn't have seen that he was going to mess that up. The way that he was getting put on his back and the pressure was coming to him at that point when he was yelling at them old linemen on that series, I would have yelled at him too. I'm talking about penalties, Russian dudes getting hip flipped by Khalil Mack, all type of crazy stuff going on out there. They needed a little talking to. One dude headbutting people, getting 15-yard penalties. Come on, man. They needed somebody to talk to them. Kind of like we need somebody on the Cowboys to talk. And listen, dude, you were right. Tonight, though, you'll be wrong because he in 6 is dead.
We talk about football.
We talking about winning. We talking about winning and losing.
Football show. Players Lounge.
W's and L's.
Football. We talk about that.
We made that bet.
Right
we made that bet on the football show. It's all right.
Yeah, I don't remember that. I don't remember saying that at all. So just to let y'all, I don't remember that. But good for me. I'm just gonna be happy Dwight Howard gets a ring. Dwight Howard. Dwight Howard will do what Karl Malone failed to do, to jump on a team and win a ring. Dwight Howard. Dwight Howard has been passed around the league, man, the last couple. I mean, he ain't passing Dwight around, and Dwight's going to end up winning a doggone. He and JaVale McGee is going to win another NBA championship ring. Our boy JaVale McGee.
Church, do you hear this? Of all the stuff, all the accomplishments that's getting made tonight with AD and LeBron and all this stuff, he said he is happy. What he wants to see is Dwight Howard get a ring.
Superman. I mean, he was getting tossed around like a hot potato, man. But hey, I guess he landed at the right spot. I mean, he's about to get him
another one.
JR got another.
J.R. Smith, hey man, they ride LeBron. Everybody jumped on LeBron back and getting themselves some rings. And poor Karl Malone, he tried to jump on that Laker bandwagon with Kobe and Shaq, and they got blown out by the Pistons. So Karl never got his ring. Gary Payton had joined him, and then Gary Payton went from the Lakers and then ended up jumping on that Miami bandwagon with D Wade and Shaq, and he ended up finally getting himself a ring that way. But Dwight Howard gonna end up with a ring. Be able to talk. You'll be able to talk trash to Charles Barkley now. Next time they on inside the NBA on TNT. Dwight Howard, world champion.
He contributed though. Dwight Howard contributed to the ring.
Yes.
I will give him that. He played some good ball, especially when they needed some big men in there. He gave some good minutes. So he's not JR in this instance.
I will give you that 100%. Yes, indeed. But y'all still was wrong about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
We're not going to count as many times as you've been wrong, Newy. All right, we're not going to count. We're not going to keep tally.
The current topic. So before I came in to do the show, I was having lunch and was driving around, and I was listening to the Cowboy flagship station here in Dallas-Fort Worth, 105.3 The Fan, and they were talking about trading players. And someone on the show brought up trading wide receiver Michael Gallup. And, you know, those times, I don't know how you guys view and think about sports radio, but I just wanted to turn the station off because I just said to myself, you're not trading Michael Gallup and getting any good defensive piece. And Michael Gallup, and when you think about the money he's making, Michael Gallup is to me, Gallup is a piece that you want to keep. But nobody in football right now, especially when you start thinking about how guys are dealing with COVID and so many injury issues, nobody's trading you a good player. They're just not going to do it. So if anybody's thinking that the Cowboys can make some trades and all of a sudden fix some stuff here, this isn't baseball. This isn't basketball. I don't believe there's a trade out there that the Cowboys are going to make, to me, that's going to go ahead and fix this football team. There's not another Amari Cooper trade out there. And then somebody had texted into the station, trade Amari Cooper for 2 first-round picks. Like, what land are you living in? Nobody's trading for that. And they just gave Amari Cooper a $100 million contract. So the salary cap hits would be, it just doesn't work. But fans who are just thinking that they're going to all of a sudden make some major trades, and somebody hit me up on Twitter saying, you know, the Cowboys need to go ahead and give us some draft picks and go get somebody who's got tackle depth. Who has offensive tackle depth in the National Football League, and who's willingly going to give it up? No one is right now. The Cowboys are basically going to be stuck with what they've got here. They really are, guys.
Go ahead, D-Mac.
Yeah, listen, and it won't happen. And what I'm about to say makes no sense, but it's just me being mad at Kellen. If you're gonna trade somebody, if you're not gonna feature this guy in the offense and focus the offense around him, just trade 21. I mean, goodness gracious, just get him out of here. Let Tony Pollard run you. Let him start the game once already. Start with the whole series. You're throwing the ball all over the place 50, 60 times. The man ain't getting that many carries. I mean, not as many carries I think he should get. Well, let him go if you're not going to focus the offense around him. You paid him this big contract, and he's been the bell cow of our offense for the last 4 or 5 years, and all of a sudden now he's not the guy. I don't understand it. So they won't trade him. They shouldn't. But this is my shout out to Kellen to say, focus the offense on Ezekiel Elliott. That is the way that you are going to win games.
Yeah, and I sincerely doubt they would do that, but I get your point, man. I mean, they're not running the bell cow back like we thought they would. I mean, even when they were down 20-something in Atlanta, they fed the guy to rock, and we got it back into the game. We just haven't seen that amount of touches or production from Zeke. But I get what you're saying there. But back to Gallup, I mean, that's crazy. That's just clickbait. That's ridiculous. I mean, look, the dude is arguably your best receiver on the team right now. I mean, he's winning all his deep balls. I mean, it seems like nobody can cover him. So you would trade off your best offensive weapon right now? That's just crazy to me. And it won't happen. It won't happen. But like I said, it's just clickbait. That's crazy.
Now, Danny, you know the three of us are outliers in terms of saying, hey, give 21 the football. I mean, I've put that out on Twitter before, and I've had these analytics people come after me talking about that's not the way to win, and you got to throw and keep slinging it. And Bucky Brooks has said it too, and they went after Bucky, and Bucky went back and forth with these people. I just let it go. But there's a bunch of folks out here who don't believe in it. They don't think you should pay a running back. They think that running backs are just interchangeable, that it's all about just throwing the football. And that's what the analytics tell them. But all I know is I watched Cleveland come in here and run the football, and they didn't have Baker Mayfield throwing the football over the place, and they pounded the Cowboys. Almost put 50 on the Cowboys. And when I go back and I think about what's the most successful year that Dak and Zeke had together, it was the first year. And you know what that Cowboy team was? It was a ball-controlled offense where they were giving it to Zeke and they were limiting Dak Prescott. When I think about the best year I ever saw for Tony Romo, one of their most successful years, they were 12-4. Jason Garrett was coach of the year. DeMarco Murray, offensive player of the year in the National Football League. That was when Romo was limited, and they ran the daylights and ran the dickens out of DeMarco Murray in his final year before he hit free agency. why won't guys go back and do that very thing that worked? The Cowboys won 3 Super Bowls with Emmitt Smith. They won a Super Bowl with Tony Dorsett. Running the football works. I don't care what anybody says about these whole analytics things.
But it's just us, though. It's just us. If you look, go ahead, Church, and then I'll finish. I think I cut you off.
No, you good. You was going with it. Go ahead, finish.
All right. Well, listen. Look around the league, all right. And when we say give the ball to Zeke, it ain't just power left, power right, counter left, counter right. Look around the league. Christian McCaffrey, focal point of the offense. Kamara, focal point of the offense. These are teams that paid these guys, and they're focal points of the offense, and they help their offense run. These guys are successful, and when a defensive coordinator comes in, they know that they have to focus and stop these guys. And we don't have that, and Ezekiel Elliott has always been that guy, so it's confusing to why all of a sudden he's not, and our offense has changed to Dak throwing the ball 50, 60 times a game, and it's no wonder why we're 1-3. It doesn't work, and it's been proven not to work over the years for us as the Cowboys, and for some reason, all of a sudden analytics must say that we should switch. And Mike McCarthy brought analytics here. Analytically, we are 1-3 and looking horrible.
Look, I mean, the only way I think, the running back by approach or all that, anybody can do it, is if you're running the ball against our defense. I mean, that's the only way that thing's gonna work. For me, I mean, Newy, you hit it right on the head, man. Like, our best formula, our best team that we had in recent years was 2016, when we were feeding the rock to Zeke, and we were limited Dak Prescott to only making throws when he had to, maybe 3rd and 6s or something like that. And we had a highly successful year. Now, look, Zeke, he got to step it up a little bit on the run game. I mean, he's fumbling the ball a little bit too much, and he hasn't had those big time spark plays that we're used to seeing from him. But they got to give him more opportunities. So to me, look, they got to get back to that formula back in 2016, 2018, when they were running the ball heavy and limiting Dak Prescott. But this whole running back by approach thing, it's just not going to work. I don't believe so.
I forgot Tennessee in Minnesota as well with Dalvin Cook and Derrick Henry. My bad. As far as teams that focus on their running backs and they have success.
Look at the Rams. I mean, the Rams went to the Super Bowl, and it was a Todd Gurley-based offense. And I remember that playoff game in which the Cowboys played. It was Todd Gurley and Anderson who just tore the Cowboys up. They ran the football and went to a Super Bowl. And what did the Rams do in Game 1 against the Cowboys? They ran the football. I mean, this year they ran the football, they're running the ball, and they're having success. And that's something that for the strangest thing, people around here who think they're math gurus and they're not, don't want to hear it. But let's also talk about the complementary football that you have to play. This is a Dallas defense that can't stop anybody. So what is the best way you can help your defense? Keep them off the field. They can't get exposed if they're on the sidelines. So that's another benefit of running the football, is you run the clock. Last night, you guys watched that Bears game. Matt Nagy out here throwing the ball with, what did you need to do? You needed to take time off the clock so you didn't put your defense back out here and give Tom Brady a chance. And luckily, the defense saved him. But just these offensive gurus, these guys that want to throw all the time, they drive me crazy. I mean, the Bears won, but had they lost that game, if Brady takes them down the field and they kick a field goal, everybody and their brother would have been on the head coach, and rightfully so, because he's not doing it. You got too many of these ex-quarterbacks, too many of these guys who are offensive, they're offensive guys who are head coaches. I just believe that they're making a mistake. And when I look across this league, and I look at some of the best coaches of all time, you look at their backgrounds, they're defensive guys. Bill Belichick, defensive guy. Tom Landry, defensive guy. Chuck Noll, defensive guy. Pete Carroll, defensive guy. Guys who think differently. These defensive coaches are apt to think more about how to protect the defense and not just, hey, let's just throw. And I think that's Jimmy Johnson. Jimmy Johnson going to the Hall of Fame. Jimmy was a defensive guy. Bill Cowher's about to go in the Hall of Fame. Bill Cowher, defensive guy. Tony Dungy in the Hall of Fame, defensive guy. At some point in time, while everybody wants to love up and hire the Sean McVays of the world and the Kyle Shanahans, you may want to ask yourself, do you have a defensive coach out there that understands how to play complementary football? Because a lot of those guys are winning championships.
Good point. Good point.
Yeah. Yeah, and listen, and you forget to mention that, like we talked about earlier, your offensive line right now is struggling, to find a rotation and keep guys healthy. I can guarantee you that the majority of offensive linemen would rather pull than kick step versus a big time pass rusher. They would rather come off the ball and smack the defensive line in the mouth and run block versus dropping back, and trying to pass the pass set 56 times a game. I can guarantee you that they will be more comfortable running the ball. It will help out your entire team, your offensive line, your defense, and I just don't understand why it's not a focal point when it can help us in so many areas.
I know. All right. Fellas, been a fun week here. It's been a fun week, man, and we'll convene on Monday, and it'll either be Victory Monday or Monday Moaning. So we'll get into that. And as we get ready to leave, Chris Beam, we appreciate you handling the show. Remember, church, it is Hall and Oates, not Oates and Hall, okay? It's not Oates and Hall.
I got you, big dog.
Go on YouTube and look up Shaquille O'Neal singing Man Eater. He sang it on TNT at the NBA All-Star game. He was singing it with another guy when they were in Las Vegas. And Shaq was doing pretty good for the first 2 or 3 lyrics, and then he butchered it after the rest. He didn't know it, but it's absolutely a fun clip of him singing Hall and Oates. So, fellas,
wait, they did. They got Man Eater too?
Yes.
I didn't know they made man. Hall and Oates, yeah. I mean, they got some classics, man.
Watch out, boys.
Hold on now.
Yes.
And they might be top 10 overall, man. I don't know.
Oh, here you go. Okay.
I'm just saying.
You didn't even know their name before the show.
Hey, I'm just saying, man. They might be top 10. That's all I'm saying.
You didn't know their name, and you didn't know that they was white, and now they top 10.
Hey, man.
He thought they were black. He thought Oates and Hall.
We go back, all right. We go back, all right. We and Hall and we go back, man.
They had Jerry curls.
I saw him from a distance, man. It was summertime. It was summertime.
Pick a record, yeah.
hey, I'm gonna throw you another one at you. Hey, church, Michael McDonald is white. In case you didn't know that.
I knew Michael McDonald was white. I knew that. But Hall and Oates, they threw me off. I saw him from a distance, but hey, we go way back, man. They might be top 10 in my book. That's all I'm saying, man.
Fellas, have a great one. Players Lounge, always fun as always. That's Players Lounge, brought to you by Hotels.com. We'll talk on Monday, guys.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys? Yeah!